How is everybody today? It's Redbeard, the spiritual plug. Shedding a little light and a little truth today. Today's video is going to be, though, on the false doctrine that is the foundation of the modern Christian church. Just to even say that, it hurts so bad. But it's the truth, though, it's almost like this right here. The wool's been pulled so far over people's eyes that they honestly even have the inkling that this was the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. And it definitely wasn't. This is a hybrid plant. It's not a natural plant. It hasn't been around for nearly long enough. And somehow it's in the rose family also, interestingly enough. Anyway, though, back to the topic. So 2,000 years ago now, pretty much, around the time that Yeshua was crucified, and that the Romans and the Pharisees got together, and that I don't really think that whole clique thing has dissolved. Ever since they got together and decided, hey, if we can't levy taxes, if this guy keeps talking, we're gonna have to kill somebody. Ever since they got together and did that, nothing's been the same, and the world has been in a cage. We have been under tow since then. Now, I want to start off with some scripture today in 1 Timothy 4:1, in the King James, that is. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." I want you to understand that the latter times has been for a while. The latter times is not just now, because we probably are definitely in the end of times, but it's been kind of what's been rolling downhill for a minute, and really and truly, what we see as Christianity is is mostly just is doctrine that was introduced by the Catholic Church. Now, doctrine is defined as a belief or set of beliefs held and taught by a church, political party, or other group. Synonyms are creed, credo, dogma, belief, teaching, or ideology. So that being said, that same stuff that it just referenced in 1 Timothy, that doctrine of devils, we're already under that. Even Jesus Christ, Yeshua, he told the Pharisees then, you are nothing but the sons of Satan. These are synagogues of Satan. And that's not something that people wanted to hear, for one, but it also wasn't something that they wanted to even think about, because the ancient Hebrew tribes, even the inkling that certain deities and etc. were more so pagan deities or pagan ideologies that really made the early Hebrew church, the mystic schools, etc. All these concepts are something that are lost on a lot of modern believers. A lot of people, they really have completely went all in with this 66 book canonical Bible that was adopted, that is really not what it should be. When we took away the so much of the stuff that used to be added or used to be accepted, we took away the fact that that inspiration happened. We took away the fact that the Spirit come to these people, and these people wrote this stuff down because it was important. People didn't write stuff down then. A lot of people couldn't read or write. And that whole concept there, it always just blows my mind, just that any kind of governing body, whether it be for the correct or incorrect intentions, could really and truly take away the fact that these people, they believed in this. This was something that they taught their children. This was something that it was important for them that others knew. This is the type of stuff that people died for. A lot of people died for this. And the false doctrine and the established church, because the church is not a building. The church was the people. But this whole thing is the type of stuff that started wars. This is the type of thing that people were burned for hundreds of years about. And it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous that we in our modern times we're still really not. Most of us aren't even hip to that. We don't know that way before there was the King James Bible, and we've been conditioned in thinking the King James Bible is right and this is what we're supposed to be. But it's 66 books. It's 66 books, which takes away these people's inspiration. To say that there are no more prophets is to say there are no more miracles. And we accept that there were not only miracles but prophets then. And we should accept that there are miracles and prophets now, but we don't. But here's something real quick. The definition of inspiration by Merriam-Webster. Okay, inspiration has an unusual history in its figurative sense, appears to predate its literal one. It comes from the Latin inspiritus, the past participle of inspire, to breathe, into inspire. And in English has had the meaning the drawing of air into the lungs since the middle of the 16th century. So, I don't know if you ever heard that song, You Are the Air I Breathe. But, the Spirit, when it comes to you, you're finally alive. It finally lights up your own light. And that is when you can become a light in dark places. Before the Spirit comes to you and you have that commune with the Spirit, you are nothing but a physical body and a soul. Now, you still have your soul, but until that Spirit has come and communed with you, you're not really alive because you haven't been set on fire yet. You have not been cleansed. And that being said, I want to go into this a little bit further, okay? All right. Now, do you know what the history of the Catholic Church is? Have you ever heard of a Chthonic?
Chthonic.
Yes, it's spelled Chthonic. Now, does that sound like a word maybe Catholic? It also, this is the definition. Concerning, belonging to, or inhabiting the underworld. Now, I want you to think about something. The Vatican is still a subterranean edifice, okay? And that right there, the implications of that is daunting. Especially when we consider that the Christian church is established on this whole, even if you're talking about the Reformation or etc., you're still talking about Christianity came about as a result of the Roman Catholic Church. So Yeshua, Jesus Christ, whatever you prefer to call it, he was not a Christian. He was not a Christian. And in the original laws given to Moses on the tablets, one of them is take no graven images, and the Catholic Church signed everybody up to take a graven image. That cross, with Yeshua hanging on it, that's not something that you're not supposed to have that image in your mind when you think of God. You're not supposed to have any image in your mind, because the more that you have an image in your mind is the more that you try to make God quantitative. You try to put a value to God. God is not something that we can put a number on. God is not something that we can put in a box. God is not something we can say, God's never been in a person. Well, how do you live? Even this word inspiration we just had. We know that God breathed life. That's what it says in the book. It says he breathed life into the dirt. Okay? And then there we were. So, that this whole idea that we're really living in an age where the church hasn't already been defiled is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That is the reason why even then Yeshua, when he went to the temple and there was gambling and everything else, he knocked that stuff over. How dare you do these things in my Father's house? How dare you? Because the more that they got people to sign on to this is the more that they started just conditioning everybody. It's the more that they took over. When they did what they did in crucifying Jesus Christ, they took over the whole world. After the fall of knowledge, they took their and that whole thing. How did the Black Plague and stuff come? I wonder, was it something that was invoked? Even the whole thing that they spoke Latin, and they still speak Latin in a lot of Catholic services. It speaks volumes because, the spirits that's here, they predate that church. They predate that ideology. So, manifestation is something, and when we know that our tongue is the most powerful thing that we possess, we can speak life, or we can speak death, we can speak blessings, or we can speak curses.